Hi, everybody, and welcome to another spooky mini of games my mom found. I am Mike Albertin, who's wandering to town with me tonight.
Michael K. Hughes.
Adam Merica.
Helena.
Every time. And welcome to our first mini with guests, because we don't normally do this when we do minis.
It's like the first follow-up episode to a game we've already covered too, right?
Yep. We are going to be talking about Silent Hill 2, Born from a Wish, which is the sub-chapter that comes on the Greatest Hits version in the PS2.
Cool. Yeah, like
apparently.
A prequel thing. I think it came out with the Xbox version.
Oh,
that makes sense.
That's cool.
I can't remember. I think it came out with the Xbox version, Greatest Hits version, then got it for the PlayStation 2. And then when it came out with PC later, it also had it on there.
I know it wasn't on the original version because I have the original PS2 version. I never played this because it wasn't there. So I remember that. Because I would have played it back then.
My wife was equally like, "What are you talking about? That's not a thing." Must have been a later
Surprise!
version.
It's real. I don't know why it exists, but it's real. Oh, and before I go too far, if you want to hear, we will be spoilers of Silent Hill 2, because, well, yeah. And if you want to hear all about Silent Hill 2, check out episode 80 with Helena and Adam. We're on that one also. Definitely go check that out. And so this sub-chapter starts off where you don't play as James, you play as Maria for some reason. And you wake up, the game starts off with her sitting in a chair holding a revolver with one bullet, and she's holding it to her head, if I remember correctly. And she's like talking about killing herself.
She was definitely talking about suicide, but I don't think she was holding it up to her head yet.
You are correct.
Yeah.
I'm watching it right now as we talk. So it's just very strange. Like I don't understand what was happening. I still don't understand what I just played.
Yeah. So she wakes up in like a back room of a strip club called Heaven's Night. And in the third game, they actually say that she's modeled after a stripper there, or is a stripper there.
Huh.
Okay.
So I know you pass through that strip club as James when you're going through the game. It might even be where he first runs into her. Maybe.
I can't remember.
It's been a little bit since we played that.
Yeah. But yeah, it's. I'm still quite trying to understand how long she's been in Silent Hill at this point.
The way that she's talking later on, or someone is talking to her, it seems like it's implied that she's only recently come into consciousness.
Yeah, that's how I took it. That's
okay.
Because that's what that one guy, Ernest, when you find him and he's talking to you, that's what it sounds like. I can't remember he even says the lines, "You're born from a wish" or something, but it sounds like it does make it sound like she was just created. Like she didn't exist before. Because she's not real.
Yeah, he definitely implies that he knows what she is.
Well, Silent Hill's a special place.
Yeah.
It's cool that it exists. Like, I don't even really know how to explain it exactly. Like, you wake up, as you were saying, you start out in this place, and then it doesn't take long. You're off running around through Silent Hill, and that was kind of cool to be back in the town again. I mean, there's no point.
Kind of cool, because we still run into the same problems we ran into with James's campaign. It was just like it lets you go so many places that you don't need to go, and you're just blocked off in very many directions.
And all the enemies are back.
Yeah. Well, there's only like 2 enemies in this thing and like 2 weapons. If I would have thought like this was a demo, like just got it in my Game Informer magazine or whatever magazine, or ordered it with a pizza, and this said like Silent Hill 2 demo, and it was sort of like what PT was, this was going to lead up to something, but we wanted to show it off in a way that would continue the story. I think this would be amazing. But for them to call it like a sub chapter or something like that, and it's this short kind of like, why did we need this?
I don't think it did. Like, it didn't answer any questions for the actual game or really add any value to it, in my opinion.
It's very valid. It didn't.
Yeah.
I was expecting something different. Like when you're running around town, you can collect tons of bullets, you can collect tons of health drinks, and I'm like, okay. And you don't need it. Like there's nothing to this. It's a very small chapter. It's just weird that it even exists. But I do see where Adam, like I could see this. Like this should have been like a demo to get you excited for the game.
Yeah, absolutely. That sounds perfect for what this was.
Maybe that was a plan at one point. I don't know. I didn't look up any of this information.
If that were the case, though, you'd think it would have came out like along with the original version, not just the greatest hits, like after the fact.
Yeah, that would make more sense. Some way to promote it. Because again, it's just reused assets, but now you're playing as Maria, which plays exactly like James, except for the only melee weapon she gets is a butcher knife, which is not that useful.
No, it's the Chinese cleaver, as the game calls it.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Mhm.
Could have just
And,
stopped
like-
the cleaver.
And when you run around the town, like everything is locked. Every door is locked and everything is blocked off except for one place you have to go to. And I could not figure out what to do. I ran around the town a bit. I'm like, the guy telling me to go east. I'm like, I don't understand. And then I figured out, oh, look, there's a door of blood underneath it. Go in there. It took me longer than it should have.
Fair.
I mean,
So the Baldwin
Creepy,
house
though.
is all new, right?
yeah,
This
the,
wasn't
yeah,
in- okay.
that all I could think of was Resident Evil when you
Oh,
go inside the house.
100%. It's the first note I have. This is very Resident Evil mansion.
I just kept thinking that one quote from Barry. Is it Adam? You played in the Resident Evil, isn't it? What a strange house or something like that.
I forget that because immediately after that is, here, take this, Jill. The master of lockpicking will know how to use this.
That game. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
I hope this isn't Chris's blood.
God, that game. But that's all I could think of. But it was cool. Like I didn't have a problem running around playing as Maria. Of course, I didn't use the revolver until the very end because I had to save all my ammo for nothing. That's how you play these games.
Yeah,
I got lucky. I went in to change something in the settings. Oh, I changed it from 2D control to 3D control to put it on tank controls. I learned my lesson last time. And I'm like, oh, I wonder what's in the secret options. And since we had beaten the game, I had the option to triple ammo counts. So I got like 3 boxes and I had over 100 bullets. I'm like, I'm just going to use the revolver then.
Yeah, you don't need that many in this game.
I don't think you could fire that many.
Not at enemies.
Yeah, right.
There's not much. So, what did you think of the mansion, Adam, when you got in it?
Oh, loved it. It's. I like that it was bright and somewhat clean.
It was pretty clean for Silent Hill standards.
Yeah, like it because you're used to Silent Hill being dark and rust colored and foggy. Just to have something with some vibrancy to it, it added a little bit to the game for me. Like playing as Maria through a fresh set of eyes, and maybe that's how she interprets it, or that's actually what it was, because we know she does meet James very soon, but you never go into that mansion again or the estate. But no, I just liked seeing a new scenery of sort.
It is creepy. Like, there are no other NPCs in this. Like, you meet this other guy, but he's always behind a locked door, and he just talks to you a little bit, but he's very, like, he just wants you to go away and stop bugging him. And
yeah.
I was trying to figure out that like another person that like Eddie or James that wandered into Silent Hill and just stuck here.
He definitely seems like he was an actual person based on what he's trying to accomplish there.
What is he trying to accomplish?
Exactly. What is he trying to do? It doesn't make any sense.
So this is gonna spoil the ending. Spoil
That's fine.
quotations and ending quotations. But so you go up into the attic and you find a present and a birthday card for Daddy from Amy. You find out Amy was his daughter, presumably, and she apparently died trying to do some kind of like birthday surprise for him. She fell out of a window in the attic. So the only quest goal you have as Maria is to go to the Blue Creek Apartments and get this bottle of white liquid. And the white liquid is the white chrism that James uses for the rebirth ending, where he brings Mary back to life. So you also find the Lost Memories book that James has to have, and it has scribbled at the bottom, it says red equals blood, which is the Crimson Ceremony, white equals mist, which is the white chrism, and black equals night, which is the obsidian goblet, are the 4 objects that he needs to do that ending. So it seems like he's trying to bring Amy back to life.
Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah.
That answered all of my questions.
I did not get any of that from this little bit I played, but then again, I can't remember Silent Hill 2.
I saw one thing on Reddit that linked
Okay.
the white liquid to the white chrism, and I'm like, I'll do some research, and I came up with that. Thought it was pretty good.
That is good.
It was creepy as hell, though. I gotta say that wandering around this mansion, it really felt like I was playing a, like Resident Evil or something of that nature, where I was very creeped out. There's a part when you go in the attic and you hear like a little girl laughing or something that just made me just want to. I was like, oh god, I got all paranoid. There's nothing there, but that was really good, like horror. I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that
Go ahead.
I was going to say is what he was saying, like, because you can hear, I guess, Ernest at that point saying, "Oh God, she fell," or something like that.
If you stick around.
Yeah, there's a couple people that talk, just like call an ambulance or something, and and the worst is when you're going to leave with the present and you hear Amy's like, "Give it to Daddy," and it's like,
Yeah. That creeped me out, and just everything about this mansion. Like as you're running like on the second floor, and it really does look like the Umbrella Mansion. I know it's not, but it looks like you could tell they were inspired 100%.
Yeah, that upper balcony gave me some serious Spencer Mansion vibes.
I mean, and luckily this thing only has one puzzle too, which was nice. Like they threw it. So Adam, did you try? Well, I was going to say, did you try the puzzle legitly? Then I remembered. Oh yeah, you watched it on YouTube.
I mean, from what I saw, the dude nailed it.
I did too. I just looked at the guys and all turn right, turn left. All right, awesome, perfect. So you have these three. You get to some like tombstone inside the courtyard inside this mansion, because I guess you have a courtyard when you have a mansion for some reason.
No, hold on. You got to talk about how you get there. You climb up a ladder hidden in the fireplace. Climb up. You get to this hidden courtyard somewhere in the house.
Because that's how fireplaces work, right?
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, when you have a mansion, you have a courtyard next to your fireplace, or on your roof next to your chimney. There we go.
Keep going. I'm enjoying this explanation. Keep going. I mean, I feel like that wouldn't even work in a fireplace, because then it just wouldn't work. I mean, again, it's cool though. Like you get these three boards, to put these three boards in to get a key. I mean, I just looked at what the guy said to do, but it's like it's just an interesting little puzzle. I could see it be if you're into that kind of thing, and don't cheat like me. I think it'd probably. It looks complicated enough that it would give you a challenge.
I would never have figured that out on my own.
I thought it seemed kind of simple, because like you said, there's the three boards and they all have holes in them. And the goal is to put the three boards in so you're not showing any of the wall behind the boards. I put two in, and I'm like, okay, so I've got these two holes left. So how can I angle this last one so that it covers up those? And it only took me 2 or 3 tries. So.
But you got to put them in a certain order and rotate them in a certain order.
I think there are like various solutions to it, though. It's not just one set thing.
Okay, never mind. Then that's not as hard as I was thinking. I still wouldn't. I didn't like it. I mean, it was easy, but I was looking at it, I'm like, yeah, I would hate this puzzle if I was actually trying to do this gently, which I was not.
At least it was the only puzzle. Like I noticed when I first started, it was like it didn't ask me for a puzzle difficulty. That's kind of weird. Now I know why.
So it's actually for an action difficulty for the 3 enemies you might kill. So did when the video you were watching, did that guy keep running into the stupid roaches that are all over the damn place?
Yes.
They were irritating the hell out of me.
I also noticed that Maria, whenever she stomps on anything, she like screams.
I mean, like you would do if you're in you're fighting giant cockroaches and things that are trying to hit you with their legs that are attached to where their arms should be. I'd be screaming too, I bet.
I feel like I would scream as they approached, not when I'm killing them.
No, you would. It's like that guttural instinct of just killing and screaming. It makes sense.
Yeah, guttural instinct. You would know.
Yeah.
Adam does kill the cockroaches for me because I am a complete baby when I see them.
100% with you there.
I haven't seen any, thankfully, but I'd probably be in the same boat.
In Minnesota, I never saw them, but when I moved to Virginia, they're all over the place here. Let me tell you, it's like a hellhole.
We aren't that far away from the real Silent Hill, so
yeah,
maybe that's part of it. They were weird. I mean, the cockroaches are in the original game, are in the regular game too, right?
Yeah, because
one elevator room thing.
That asylum room that you get locked in, and you turn on the light, and there's all over the place.
They make a really eerie sound though in this game. Maybe they did in the other game too. I don't remember, but it was so creepy. Like I was actually more creeped out playing Born from a Wish than I was playing Silent Hill 2. I don't know why. But I was like, it made me, I was on edge, even though the guy's like, there's nothing in this room. There's nothing here. I was just on edge all the time with like the random little talking, or the fact that like you're in a little kid's room and you kind of figure out like she died. Like it just was very creepy.
I could see how it could be creepy, but I was very confused about like sometimes the battle music played when there was an enemy nearby, but sometimes it didn't.
I never thought I'd miss the radio, but I had a couple of times where I just turned a corner and ran into an enemy because like the creepy Earthbound music wasn't playing to let me know there was someone there.
Yep.
Yeah, that kind of is because there is no radio, which kind of I didn't like that you didn't have a radio. It would have been nice to have one.
I think that silence in games like these is really unnerving. That's what freaks me out when I'm playing. If I can't hear anything, it scares me.
Yeah.
I usually don't hear anything.
Even games like Myst that aren't supposed to be horror, but there's just no music and the only sound is anything that you interact with. That kind of stuff always puts me on edge.
Mm-hmm.
Myst is just on edge game in general because you might not ever figure out the puzzles. Fair. I don't care for Myst very much. I haven't played it in years, but I was like, just like in the whole thing of when you getting the present, like you were saying before, like that creeped me out. And when you talk to Ernest again after you get the present, he's just like, oh, that, he kind of starts to like, and the fact that you never meet Ernest, you just talk to him behind different doors. And when you go in the room, he's not even there anymore. Like he leaves by the time when you're able to get to him.
So I was going to say, as we discussed in the last Silent Hill, there's a lot of meaning and underlying, like, what ifs or what's this mean, and a lot of psychological views and stuff like that. And I wonder if Ernest, we don't know how long he's been there. We don't know what it's done to him. We don't know the effect of him seeing somebody else, if he wants to know if they're alive or if they're dead. He hints that in the beginning, this place isn't insane. What if we're insane? And maybe staying behind closed doors, knowing what he needs, and hopefully, realizing he's insane, thinking that this white liquid could bring back his daughter. It's just one of those things where he's like, I don't need to see you. I don't care if you're real or not. If you can bring me the liquid, that's cool, And that maybe the same's going on for you, because you pick up a teddy bear earlier in the game, or in this, and she goes, oh, this will be great for Laura. She hasn't even met Laura yet.
Oh, I don't think I saw that. That's cool.
Yeah. So it's now to the point where you go into that Silent Hill. All right, what's this all mean? What could it stand for? And now I need to write a 30-page essay off this 30-minute game.
I mean, they do make the comment about how the gods are gone, or something about gods, and from what I do know about Silent Hill, and at this point James is already here. He's in the town at this point because you meet him at the end, but also that because of, God, what the hell's her name? The girl, Alessa?
Angela?
Well, Alessa's the one that was a god in the first game, and since she's no longer in the town doesn't have anyone to draw off of exactly, or to control it. I think it's something like that with the canon. Something
like that.
I kind of know what I'm talking about, but not completely.
Yeah. Yeah, you mentioned that during the Silent Hill 2 episode. Sounds familiar.
So that's interesting to me, and I feel like because James is the only, like, one of the few people in this town, it creates Maria because it's what he's wishing for or wanting or something. It's off his desire or something of that nature.
Are you implying that she was born from a wish?
Yeah, just like it says. Because doesn't I think we were saying Ernest makes that comment about her being.
Yeah. He's like, that means James, so maybe there's hope after all.
So how does he know James, I wonder?
So yeah, it definitely implies that they met at some point before this.
Not the game that we played.
He says that James is a bad man.
He's not wrong.
Yeah. So it's like he knows that if you're stuck there, then you're there for a reason. You've done something awful, or you've been through something awful to get there.
Well, if I remember correctly, the game kind of calls out to murderers too. If you're someone that murdered somebody, the game's going to call you, and not the game, but the town is going to call you and bring you there.
Yeah.
And then near the end of this, you end up in the apartment building because you're trying to go get that white liquid, which now makes a lot more sense. But in that apartment building, there's only one room you need to go into, but you can run around, and I ended up in the room where you fight Pyramid Head in the regular version. Nothing there, but I ran into the room. I was like, wait a second, I know this room. There's no water or anything, but it's just there.
I mean, that's pretty cool, though.
It was cool. I mean, I know you can go in a different room that's in the game, like 203 they said you can go into, but there's nothing there at the time, but it's something, I can't remember Silent Hill 2 as well, but it's something to do with James.
I wonder if that's the one with the clock puzzle. I think that was in Blue Creek.
Can't remember if it's where, I don't even remember where he meets Maria anymore.
Yeah, it's been what, over a month now.
Yeah. And that game was not memorable to us when we replayed it. But the atmosphere was so interesting in this, and maybe it's because and I also felt much weaker. Like I felt like more vulnerable, mainly because I didn't have a stick to beat my enemies with, where I could hit them one time and knock them down. If you hit them with the knife, it doesn't really subdue them as well.
Yeah.
In the video, did he try that? Did he try hitting them?
Oh no, it was just completely running.
Oh, you can hit them, but they don't go down. Or if you hit the straitjacket guys, they go down and they scurry across the floor, and you can't. And she didn't step on them as well.
I don't like that. I don't like the scurrying.
It's not great. It's not a good thing to see.
Yeah.
No, and like you go in the basement of this house, that was creepy as hell. Like when you get out of the house, there's someone spray painted with red spray paint on the wall saying "Haunted House, don't go in here."
Something like that,
yeah. But the Blue Creek apartments are cool to be in the same area that you went to, in the regular game, even though all you do is grab one item and leave, but still.
And the room you need to go into is like directly across from where you come in.
Yeah. And it also, when you bring the white liquid to Ernest, he talks about how he's been here for so long and how he just couldn't leave.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where he says, Maria, the gods are here.
He says he's gotten everything he needs except for the white liquid. By the time he realized he needed that, he couldn't leave the house anymore. But they don't further explain that.
And that's where he also says he was born here too. So maybe he wasn't a denizen of this town. Maybe somebody else brought him.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I can't see it being something to do with Eddie or anything.
I have no idea.
No answer.
Yeah.
No, I know. What was the girl's name? The girl that died, Abby?
Amy?
I wonder if she was somehow related to Angela, maybe, but I don't remember Angela's last name. I don't think it was whatever this guy's last name is.
Baldwin.
Yeah, he's Baldwin. It's his house.
Okay, I'm just spitballing ideas here.
You sure it wasn't Ernest Hemingway?
Oh, God.
Didn't he shoot himself with a shotgun?
Ernest Hemingway?
Yeah. I thought he committed suicide with a shotgun in his mouth. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, back in that time, it was very popular to stick your head in a stove, but
I would not want to go that way. That just sounds terrible. Did people really do that to commit suicide?
Yeah, Sylvia Plath did it.
That just sounds like that would be a very not quick experience.
Well, when you have gas stoves, you would let the gas run. I feel bad. I'm not trying to give anyone a tutorial on this is how you do it.
They'd have to have a gas stove from the 1800s probably too.
Yes, exactly.
So I don't feel bad because someone has a stove from the 1800s. Either they're time traveling or they collect antiques. I think it narrows it down to a very small percentage. I am curious though, Ashley. You have my curiosity.
I have a morbid fascination with older suicide techniques of the 19 and 1800s.
Hey, it's history.
Yes.
No, I mean, okay. I was when you first said it, I was thinking you put your head into a fire and you're just being burned alive. I'm like, well, that doesn't sound pleasant.
No, no, that's definitely not a pleasant one. You wouldn't want to light the fire in the stove when your head's in there.
No, well, maybe you blow up real fast.
I
wouldn't want to find out either way. But okay, and so God, what the hell was I?
We were talking about Ernest and how he's not Hemingway.
All right, that's good enough. I'll go with that. So, as you can see, like this is just a strange little thing, and it ends where she gets into the room where Ernest Hemingway was, and there's nothing there. You just see the box that you had was a tie, because a tie is a Father's Day gift, I guess.
It looked like a pair of gloves or something.
I thought it was a
just
tie.
Even weirder.
You're right. It is a pair of gloves.
Yeah, there's a long pan around that room.
Yeah, it was like, are they trying to show off their graphics or what?
They're not that good. Maybe in 2000, whatever year this came out in, but not now.
Guys, we spent 10 months on this room. Let's do a slow pan.
I mean, it's cool how all this, like the whole mansion was all created just for this little subchapter for some reason.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's some other meaning. Like, I didn't look up anything about what this chapter means because, that would be good podcasting. So I have no idea what meaning there is to this.
It looks like there's a lot of back and forth about what it means, but it's generally accepted that it's about how Maria came into existence because she was, born from the wish of Mary coming back.
Okay. And I like how in the end of this, she throws her revolver over the wall and just gets rid of it. And which again makes sense because when you see her, she doesn't have a weapon of any sort. So they had to get rid of the gun. And I feel like either she just all of a sudden she gets the idea. Oh, yeah. Near the end, after you do the whole mansion, before she throws the gun, she puts the gun to her head. Take her own life.
Because Ernest starts to say, like, well, you know what you are. And she cuts him off because she doesn't want to hear it. And then
I wanted to hear it.
Yeah, as she gets out there, I think she starts questioning what's really real, if she's real. And
Spoiler alert, nothing's real, I don't think.
Nope.
You're in Silent Hill. Nothing makes sense, and nothing is real. And yeah, I was trying to think of where she throws the gun is where you first get your gun, but I can't remember.
I was thinking that too, but I think you find it in like a cradle or something. Some kind of weird... I know that's in BioShock, but I thought it was in this too.
I have no recollection of this event. And then all of a sudden she just says James and starts wandering off to find James.
Yeah, they even play a little audio from the actual game.
Where you actually first meet up with each other.
Yeah.
And then, credits roll.
Yeah, that's it. And it takes about 30 minutes to play, too.
And then you're just left wondering, like, that was it? What did I just play?
Apparently what it says is James is both attracted to Maria and fearful of what she might represent, and he struggles to understand her. Maria appears to be a manifestation created by James' desperation to see Mary again and fill the void her absence has left in his life. And Born's wish suggests that in the beginning, even Maria isn't really sure what or who she really is, but by the time she first encounters James, she's beginning to remember him since the title is called Born from Wish. It could be assumed that Maria is one of James' wishes. So, yeah.
Yeah.
They don't even know.
Well, once again, it goes into all those, the theories about the game. But when she first meets Ernest, she pauses. She goes, oh, by the way, my name is... pauses and says Maria. Now, is she is that her name? Does she know she's Mary, or does she kind of remember what her name is? And then Maria is the closest thing that she can get. And then she definitely starts remembering James. And then at the end, she's like, all right, I got to go find James for more answers. But, my name's Maria.
I just chalked it up to early PS2 voice acting for the weird pause.
If you have subtitles on, there's a little ellipsis. So it's not just a pause. It's, kind of intentional.
And a couple of the theories that it looks like it has on here is one, it says that they think Ernest is actually dead and he's a ghost and that's why he can't leave.
Yeah, I've got a wiki page. It says there's an occult magazine, Silent Hill 3, that says the souls of those who died suddenly by suicide or accident don't realize they're dead. Sometimes they stay put and haunt that particular place. So it explained why he's trapped at that house.
And also the warning message where it says the house is haunted.
Yeah.
I didn't get that. I was thinking he was actually, just didn't want to come out, or they didn't want to make a 3D model, but
it's possible too. So maybe with Maria helping him finish getting stuff together for the ritual, that's what he needed to cross over or whatever.
Oh, and I don't know if you remember this, but apparently there's a theory that the author of A Letter and a Wrench and a Key in the Park notes is Ernest Baldwin, since he knows of the sin that James has committed.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's all I got. Any last thing you want to say about Born from a Wish?
It's an odd one. It's one of those things that just, like the main game, it just raises more questions than it answers.
And after we got done playing Silent Hill 2, and I went in there and I hated it, I started watching, it ruined the game for me, but it did. It sparked conversation, and I wanted to go watch videos, and oh man, I went down some rabbit holes and found out so much stuff. And if you have a good hour and a half, 2 hours, go down this rabbit hole that is Silent Hill 2 and now Silent Hill 2 Born from a Wish, and just go into all the theories. And even some of the producers and directors, they're like, yeah, no, we definitely took inspiration, from the psychologist, and it's amazing. And I think that maybe they had more ideas they wanted to do, or they were cleaning out their computers, well, this part's pretty playable, this is something we want to do. Why don't we just release it for the extended portion and make people think again? But
could be.
Yeah. And I think we should go to Shelf or Box. And this is gonna be a tough one, but I'll go first. I'm actually gonna, if I could, put this on the shelf because I enjoyed it. It was nice and short. It creeped me the hell out. I found out I really don't like big mansions and houses and ghosts. Apparently, it creeped me out. So I'm glad I played it. Will I ever play it again? No. Will I recommend it? Yes. So going on the shelf, I'm glad I tried it. How about you, Adam?
So I think I put Silent Hill 2 on the shelf last time for it just being what it was. It gave the warning that if you play it, you may not have fond memories. So since that's on the shelf and this is included in it, by proxy, it has to go on the shelf. And, and even if it wasn't by proxy, I just wish that it was a demo and not an add-on. And if you've never played the Silent Hill 2, start with this. There's no reason to play this afterwards. Start with this, get a little bit more story, and then, continue it on through Silent Hill 2.
How about you, Helena?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with the whole by proxy argument. However, if we are evaluating them as separate games, I don't think this really added any value to the game. I'm gonna box it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I completely understand where you're coming from. How about you, Mike?
Yeah, kind of echoing what Helena just said. Like, it doesn't really add anything to the main game other than that tiny bit of maybe this is where Maria came from, but it's short. There's nothing to it. There's no enemies. There's one puzzle. It's got to go in the box. Like Adam said, we sparked a big conversation about the main game, but there's just not enough substance here for that. So
no, not really.
In the box.
Yeah.
That's about it. It was a little different. I wasn't sure what I expected with this one. But it's a mini, so it is.
Yeah, just echo what we did in Silent Hill 2. Everyone's going to be expecting it now. We got to mix it up.
And Adam, since this is coming out in October, anything you want to plug?
I guess we might as well go ahead. Make sure that I have my timeline set and it's out. But we're gonna have a podcast starting on our end. It's gonna be called Talk Games Chew Bubblegum. We're gonna have some special guests along the way. We're gonna be talking about games. We're not gonna be chewing any bubblegum because it doesn't make for good audio. But just like having fun and hopefully we'll have that released sooner than October, but Talk Games Chew Bubblegum. Bam.
And there will be a link in the show notes to his podcast once it goes live, and so you guys can go follow him on there. And also want to say, if you enjoyed this episode, check out episode 80. If you haven't, you should check out episode 80 anyway. We talk about Silent Hill 2 in a lot more detail than we did in these 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Check that out. If you enjoyed this episode, we do lots of other game episodes. We cover all movies, comics. We do more minis just like this. And right now during Spooktober, you have tons of spooky stuff to go check out. And I want to also give an awesome shout out to our intro and outro, courtesy of Bulby, a.k.a. Mike Stoney from his EP, Bite the Bullet. The song's The Cool Kid Squad. Definitely check him out. There'll be a link in the show notes. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, where I'm constantly posting new images of what's going on with the show. And I want to thank Helena and Adam for coming back on for another spooky episode.
Always a pleasure having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
I'll be back real soon.
Yes. All right, and we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
See you guys.
Bye.